stand 6'8" when I'm completely unfurled. And to find a mate, I've looked all over this world. Then a store downtown advertised everything for us tall guys. And they had everything except tall girls.
Oh! You can't go wrong with a classic such as Hee Haw. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in, Rannie. It's great to have you along with us here on this fantastic Friday evening here. There we go. Now we're perfect. Can you hear me, Rannie?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear. Hey, great to have you along with us on a Friday evening. You all the way up there in the big community of Mountain Rest. How's things look down around you right now?
Well, I tell you, it's kind of wet and sloppy up here, but that's all right. It's hurricane season. Tonight we found out here last week that nobody can go down there to that Pub Blue except for the OCC, so I didn't have nowhere to go this week.
I was just wondering, are they going to have a 9% sale?
Everything 9% off for the rest of the month.
Well, we have to talk about a couple of things, some post-election information, and I guess the first thing that we want to talk about, we actually had the numbers of the writing candidate, and when what he received vote-wise was nothing near what he had told. So let's go ahead and start with that one there. 1,121. Yeah, but I have an issue too with a local radio station that made the announcement that he had 1,400 votes, which was grossly inaccurate. If you know, when we were giving the election results on Tuesday night, all I said was that there was 1,400 write-ins. I never said who got the votes because at the time we really didn't know who received all of those votes. But since then, we do know that 1,121 for the write-in candidate, and then the other ones I think went to Jody Golland. But there was some interesting ones to say the least, and that's all we'll mention. There was a bunch of
1,121.
Was it 1,121 or 1,200?
No, it was 1,121.
Right, it was 1,121 that he received.
Right, but that's like 300 less.
Yes,
than Carrie Unsworth got.
You're exactly right. She got a little over 1,400. So technically, Carrie beat Purry.
Every woman running
beat Purry. Man, it is a woman's kind of county, isn't it?
I guess so.
So I guess I need to ask you, Rannie, and we've had this discussion most of the day. Does the OCC end or do they go incognito and hiding?
Well, being stupid and being dead are kind of the same. It doesn't really affect anybody but the people around you. Mm-hmm. I believe they're going to be around for a long time.
You think so?
I do. I think that they're going to go to ground. They're not going to say nothing to give it till April, and they're going to come out with a OCC wave or something for the convention and try to take it over again. But, really take it over again, and same thing happens. 18 months of, nothing but turmoil, and Jody and the Democrats take whatever offices are available. That's what will happen.
Well, Jody's already made the conversation in an interview she did with the Journal that they do plan within 4 years that they are going to be able, or hopefully they will be able to place Democrats on the ballot to be able to run against in these elections. So,
well, I was having a discussion on the Journal webpage today, or Facebook, whatever, with this guy Kemp. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen him comment on her before.
Yeah.
But he was talking about, it's sad that the Republicans here, they don't do anything for the average person. Now, I'm trying to figure in my own head, and you can help me if you want, but what's the difference in the average person and the common man?
I don't know if I can answer that. An
Because
average person, a
McMahon
common man.
and McMahon and his fascist OCC group are all about the common man, and the Democrats are about the average person.
Well, then there has to be a definition of made what is a common man, and then what is the other one? I mean, what
And
is
what if they find out it's the same thing, and they're just looking at each other going, I don't want to be like you, but I am.
I don't think of myself as a common man, and I don't think of myself as an average man. I just think of myself as a person that has thoughts and feelings, and I feel a certain way of how I'd like to see things go. I guess I'm more about the people and understanding their struggles, that we all struggle. And if we can lend a helping hand to our fellow humans, then it's all worth it. To me, that doesn't have to mean you're a common man or you're average. You're just a good person, or you're a human being.
Right, but you ought not have 40 acres on Lake Kiwi and be talking about how you're in it for the common man either.
Oh, well, okay. I see where you're going with this. I do.
I mean, nothing
But
spells elitist like that, less like having 40 acres or 50 or 10 or even a camper trailer on the lake.
well, or somebody that has tons of rental properties and all that other stuff. To me, the if you're going to have to put a definition on the average man or common man, I don't know if you can do that anymore. My vision would be something like in the 1950s when we're watching Leave It to Beaver. Is that a common man? I don't even think that exists anymore.
Well, my whole point with that is the Democrat ideas and the OCC ideas are absolutely the same. They just don't want to be like one another. They won't just embrace it and go on and go over there. It doubled their numbers. Perry might get 2,500 votes.
I doubt it. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying.
To me, that you make a good point, Randy. You really do. I don't know if I can answer that. I'm not sure that I am the one that can answer that question, because I had everybody.
You answer that question. The folks that the folks that Lewis Collins made his video about, you're either against us or with us.
Well, we already seeing that they are flying the coop, so to speak.
Right. So they ain't with them. And
I don't know if that's the case, but we do know that today our Facebook page has increased. We've also got almost 90 something new likes in a 24-hour period.
Right.
So I'm not sure I can relate some of that to what's going on over there. Maybe we can. Maybe we can say that, hey, look, people are tired, and all we want to do is we're telling you the truth. When we do these news stories and we talk about these things, this is nothing that we make up. These are things that we can back up. We have facts. This group, for example, and we proved that today, far as the video that Perry made back Tuesday night, how wrong it was. It was a total fabrication, and everything that he posted was a total fabrication. One of the other things I want to mention, we have a snapshot of it. Yes, we do. Calling the county councilman a communist.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Is that the only word that they know? Is if they don't agree with them, or you have a difference of opinion, that you're a communist? Is that the only thing they know?
Well, I think they got some words. They just don't understand the words they're using, because the way they act is, I mean, they're communists, not the councilman that they were talking about.
I want to bring up something real quickly. We have a comment, Randy. I hope you can see the comment on screen. Tasha writes in, Democrats and Republicans both changed their views, policies, and agenda so much that I prefer to be categorized as an American.
Oh, amen. Yeah. I mean, Tasha's absolutely right. I mean, these party things are, I think both the parties do enough to run people away constantly, and they need to. I don't know, but it just needs to be an American that can run.
It goes to a question that I think a lot of folks have asked through the years. At what point do we realize that the two-party system has broken the America?
I mean, they're wings on the same bird. I mean, we're all Americans, and trying to, I don't know. You can't put all your values into government, because where your liberty ends, somebody else's begins, and you can't be running over everybody. And that's exactly what the OCC wanted to do.
Well, I put my values in the Constitution of the United States. We're a republic for the people, by the people, and the Constitution should be the guiding principle. The problem is they take the Constitution and think that if anybody doesn't agree with them, then you're against them and you're a communist. And I just really got so tired of reading that. Now, since that post has been removed from the former writing candidate, it was just a shame. This is what he does. He attacks people for no reason, no basis, no foundation. And if you even have had a conversation with him and asked him the question, hey, show me where Julian Davis is a communist.
Oh, wow. I just got a text that said the KGB lowlifes are attacking Tyler's dad now.
Really?
It just popped up on my screen, yeah. And then it said, I don't know. Can I look at images and be on here at the same time?
I'm not sure, but you can go ahead and try real quick. I may lose you audio wise, but if you want to, you can go ahead and try real quick.
I'll read it later, and if it's important, we'll go live.
Well, if we have to, we can go live again.
That's the problem, right? Is these people, we're going to get 10% of the vote and show people we exist. Well, you got 9. You didn't make it. You don't exist. You're done, right? Let's see. I got more votes than Kerry. You didn't. You lied. Let's see. What else did I lie about?
Well, the video was still upsetting, and again, regardless, the video was just out of character. That's just, and I think somebody called him out too. On that video.
Yeah, I mean, disgusting. I mean, that was the guy that wanted to go to Columbia to represent Oconee County.
Could you imagine?
Man, what'd he do today? I wonder what he did today. I'd like to know. This morning, I went and dropped my daughter off at 7 o'clock at the high school in Walhalla so she could get with the band. And they went up to James Brown Elementary. Let me tell you right now, David Dial says he's listening. But anyways, we got over there for the veterans program they had this morning. Wow. I mean, that was a spot on one of the best programs I've seen in a long time. And they had the veterans that marched down the hallway to the cafeteria. The band was playing. That band was, I've watched the band all season long. And I tell you what, that performance of the Star Spangled Banner that they done to this morning, the best one they've done yet. And Paul Singe over there, I think it's his first year as the band director at Walhalla. That guy is going to make a spectacular band director for the county. The dude he cares about them kids. He cares about the music. It was great. Well, then the program went on, and the librarian or lead media specialist, I don't know if librarian is a toxic word to use anymore or not, but anyways, she read this book about the prisoner of war missing in action table. And I'm going to tell you what, I cried. It was touching. It really was. And I've set those tables up hundreds of times in chow halls around the world. But when she read that story, that brought tears to my eyes. Man, somebody done shoot dark. Somebody called again.
I heard that. Hey, real quickly, Roger has checked in too. Roger says average can only be seen in the numbers. Common just to me is the person who just wants to get up and do his job. And, Roger's right. Raise his family, live a drama-free life. However, we can't do that anymore. Uncommon is the new normal. We have to take a stand. The extremes have taken away a life of peace, and sticking your head in the sand and let people write in, and Maxine W takes over. So, Roger, good comments. Tasha real quickly checks back in. It's not a popularity contest, and she's right. Easy for me to say. All the candidates should be working towards a common goal, a better Oconee. That's one of the things that I actually preached.
Well,
I think we're having some internet issues with Rannie
Are you
from
still
the
there?
Yeah, we're there. Go ahead. You're breaking up a little bit on us there, Rannie.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Rannie, we got you loud and
For some
clear.
technology glitch. You know, we're waiting on Blue Ridge to
Good luck on that one. All right, we just lost Raney. Hopefully he will check back in with us just a second. So yeah, as we were just discussing, the common and average man is an interesting thing here. A couple of other things while we're waiting for Raney to join back in. Want to remind you that coming up Monday night, the school district of Oconee County will be having a board meeting / work session. And in some of the reports that we've been given or told, coming up Monday, there potentially could be a vote taken to go ahead and give the bus drivers the bonuses that they were promised back in the early spring of this year. And hopefully we will find out more about that coming up. We do know that the two candidates that one was re-election, Sandra Sloan, who won re-election for District 3, and a new board trustee member for District Number 1, Amanda Holder. She will be coming in and taking the oath, or she'll be sworn in coming up on Monday for the Board of Trustees. They're having that meeting coming up on Monday. So we're still trying to wake technology at its finest from the top of the mountain, from the Rannie Bond headquarters. And we still have the circle of death there. So Rannie has not made contact with us back yet. So we'll hold the fort down. I want to remind you that coming up tomorrow, no show. Our normal 8 a.m. show we're taking this coming Saturday off. We plan to be back in the studio recording again coming up in the next few, probably Wednesday or Thursday of next week. We will have a brand new show. We'll have more information as we start moving on past what's been happening and what's going on. There's still some things that's coming. We've talked about this on the show, including the court date that's coming up, as Jim Mann and Tyler Jordan will be in magistrate's court with the former chair of the Republican Party, which is David McMahon, and a few others, concerning the checkbook and the information concerning the Republican Party. That's one of the things that we will be watching here, and we will definitely get to see what's going on with that coming up. They've got their court date, I believe, sometime November the 20th. That'll be some more information still to come. So that will be on the top of the list. Also, too, we have Christmas time just around the corner. We've got local Christmas parades, and we're going to try to be thinking a little bit more positive towards about the families and stuff coming up this year. There's a lot of folks that are in desperate need. We're going to do a lot to help some of those folks that we can see what we can do to help make families brighter, Christmases brighter here in Oconee. Again, thank you to everyone who has liked our social media page. If you follow us on social media, thank you very much. We're almost coming soon to clip the 900 mark in followers, around 800 and something in likes. And I've got Rannie Bond via telephone right now. Rannie, I've got you on telephone. If we have to go to it, we can.
All right. Well, did y'all see all them crazy faces I was making, or was I just completely out?
You were completely out. All we could see was the circles and roundness, and it was a black screen of death, so to speak.
All right, but you can hear me now?
Now I've got you via telephone right now, so you can go ahead and finish up. We were just talking about a couple of things that's coming down the line. One of those is a court date that's coming up. When is the official court date that's going to be held over at Magistrate's Court?
That's what I was just looking here on this text that was sent to me. That's going to be November 21st, I believe. Don't know a time or anything like that, but the more people we get out there to support the Republicans, the better. Like picketing with signs and, maybe throwing stuff would be great. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's the OCC. But anyway, this thing here is, I guess, come off of the underground website there they got. It says here, I can't see everything. It says Oconee County Republican Party, signed by Jim Mann and Tyler Jordan. They say we have
Party property. The only thing I have that belongs to the Republican Party is my vote. This country club has been deemed a moron club. Disappointing, to say the least. Anyway, it's going to be fun to countersue for my time and lost wages. They are a bunch of donkeys running it.
Who has posted that?
I don't know. It doesn't show that. It was more to capture the fact that Buddy Jordan says Perry Smith is disappointing is an understatement. The conservative movement that this donkey club started has been destroyed. And just look at like a bunch of idiots doing it. I'm ashamed of my affiliation with this group. Although I will always support true conservatives and their values, I just can't support the OCC. What a joke. Are y'all standing there smiling with your papers because you did something you're proud of? I guess there's a picture of them being served. And then Perry Smith, an admin of this group, a leader of the fascist group, says, Buddy Jordan, actually, Buddy, your son is a complete wimp and too scared to do the right thing. If you are so disappointed, why are you still here? Take yourself to be with the donkeys. That's where you belong. As your boy has done nothing for the OCRP nor Walhalla, I'm actually embarrassed for being affiliated with him. How pathetic can he be? I guess he gets it honest. To think I even gave a speech for him makes me vomit. You and Tyler are pathetic. Yes, I'm proud of that piece of paper. It shows just how ignorant they really are.
Okay, so
that right there is what the OCC was going to be proud to send into Columbia.
So let's stop here for just a second and let's rephrase this information. Of course, we're referring now. It's Tyler Jordan's father.
Mm-hmm.
And we now know who is writing this. And of course, it is Perry Smith, as always. So he is allegedly going to sue for lost wages.
Yeah, but he was ready to give up his job at six-figure income to go to Columbia.
Which we just found out, of course, according to Will Folks from Fit News, he is a manufacturer worker, not an engineer.
Right. That guy.
Got you. Okay. Well, that makes total sense. So does that mean because I ran a campaign race and stuff that I can sue and get my money back?
Well, no, I think what he's saying is he doesn't have anything that belongs to the party except for access to the email list that he used to send propaganda to the party.
Well, didn't he continue to send the propaganda through the party after a deemed vote was taken?
Right. Yeah, he had, misuse of that internet property is still worth something to the party. And I'm sure that, small claims court in front of that magistrate's one thing. But when they get there and probably overwhelm the magistrate's court with the everything that's going on, it's going to get probably elevated to the next level. And next thing you know, if it could lead to something serious, all because of these egos and tempers and whatever. These folks thought they could just do whatever they want to because they've been doing whatever they want to in the county for their whole damn life, and nobody's punched them in the mouth. Well, Jim Mann's the guy to punch them in the mouth in the court system.
And it's a sad state of affairs too.
Well, it is, but is it? But when you think about it, and a lot of our listeners have more of the history than I do. I've not been here that long. But if everybody just sat down, kicked their feet up, and thought a minute, how long has this really been going on?
Well, I'm a lifelonger, born and raised here, and I can tell you that certain things of what we just saw has been going on as long as I've been alive, and we'll be 47 January the 9th. So this is not the first time that I've seen something similar to this in the county system, in the county government.
Right, but I'm talking about from those particular people. I mean,
David McMahon has been trying unsuccessfully to get in politics for the last 30 years.
Well, he ran for District 2 County Council about 30 years ago and lost by 300-something votes. So, yeah, you're right.
I mean, so it's just like they keep coming around and around and around. I mean, hopefully it's 30 years before they come back. That'd be okay.
Well, I hope that two things happens. I hope Jesus comes or I'm done gone.
Well,
one of the two. It doesn't matter. Either one could happen. I'm just more concerned that we fought this hard. There's a lot of us, and that I guess that's what they don't. They think that everything rises, the sun rises in them, and they feel that you must bow down to them because they are the Lord of Lords, King of Kings of Oconee, and they're not. They're literally not. And I really would think that, when you got your butt spanked as bad as you did, you would take a look at your hard self and say, man, I am so sorry that I did this to so many people. But I guess that they still believe that they're above reproach. I've said this before. I mean, we have Matt Durham that still thinks that he's a county councilman, but he's not. He has been suspended by the governor of South Carolina. The governor suspended him. So again, if you're suspended, you're not supposed to do your job. But yeah, here we go. He has this county councilman newsletter he still sends out, and it's all, I'm just so, I guess a lot of us are frustrated about those kind of accounts. I mean, we're not going to have any resolution in this county till April, till whatever happens with that trial comes and whatever happens. We're still not going to have any resolution because these people think they're above approach, they're above the law, and they're going to quiet down for just a little while, but they're never, ever going away. And what's interesting is only 5 or 6 of these people only got involved right after around the 2020 election.
Right. Well, Trump brought out a lot of people, and some of the most disappointing things I've seen today was how Trump talked about DeSantis.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yes, I saw it today too, and
why would he turn on DeSantis at this point? Because he knows that DeSantis is a threat.
Well,
I'd probably just work with him and get to be 45 and 47. But instead,
he takes
like McMahon is, well, you're either with me or you're against me.
Yep.
And DeSantis hadn't even had an opportunity to say whether or not he's with him before he's already ran off.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're seeing, the Republicans kept talking about this red wave that was supposed to be coming. But I'm telling you, if you take a look at a lot of these Trump candidates, they didn't fare too well in this past election.
Well, Trump is extremely jealous that the candidates that he did support didn't get the love that he thought they would get.
That's right.
And I don't care what you say about DeSantis. He's created a Florida that looks a whole lot like everybody in America wants to go there and live there and be a part of that.
Well, they're doing it every day. They're moving to Florida.
And South Carolina is a great state to live in, and we've got to compete with Florida if we want to keep bringing businesses here. But the problem with bringing businesses here is we got to bring people here to run those jobs. I mean, there's the unemployment rate right now in Oconee County is super low. Everybody that has a job, everybody has a job. If you want a job, you can have a job. I talk to people that got 3 jobs. There's plenty of jobs here. The problem isn't the opportunity to work. It's the fact that nobody's standing up to these industries and to the government and saying, pay us a living wage. Mm-hmm. Pay us what we're worth. These schools and bus drivers have every right to be pissed.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up while we were in the technical snafu break. Reports are that Monday we have a work session / board meeting with the school district of Oconee County. And of course, the incumbent Sandra Sloan is going to be sworn in, and also the new member of the board, which will be Amanda Holder for District 1. She is going to, they'll be sworn in coming up Monday, but the information that we were handed this afternoon says that the board is going to vote to go ahead and give the bonuses for the school bus drivers. Now, if that is the case, I think that is the first good positive step in the right direction to fix this issue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
Real quickly, Rannie, I've got another. We've got another listener that's popped online. I want to read it to you. Miss Shannon checks in, says that same group is never going to give up. It's like a child trying to get the last word. I mean, Big Sexy did call himself a loser that night after he lost, and now we can all agree on one thing. Yes, Big Sexy equals loser. Thanks, Shannon, for checking in there on that one.
Yeah, I just don't understand that whole deal. But he's just irrelevant. And I think after tonight, after we talked about him continuing to lie, that we don't give him any more airtime, him or the OCC, until they burn something down or blow something up. Because that's the only next recourse that a terrorist organization like that has is to actually cause damage.
Well, they've already started. I mean, to me, they've already started the damage. They created the damage.
That's how I've been fighting terrorists for the last 25 years of my life. That's what I did in the Navy. The war on terrorism. And every day, that's what we talk about. It's what we did. And there, these levels of escalation from these groups, it won't be if they continue. That the next problem is they're just going to be like Bill Ayers and the Weather Underground, and they're going to blow something up. And I just hope that we're not in that place when it happens.
I hope not either. And I hope that come March of next year in April, when we're sitting here talking about the reorganization of the Republican Party, I mean, to me right now, I feel that we've got some great leadership that's running things right now from the leadership side of things. I really believe in Jim Mann. I do. I believe in what he has done under the circumstances that he was given and dealt. It's great to see folks finally have come around. I mean, I said this during the broadcast Tuesday night. One of the biggest things that I actually saw is actually seeing genuinely remorse from, for example, Luke and Jennifer Moore. I said this, and I'll say it again. Luke, to me, is a great person, and he understood what was going on. And that's the kind of person that I want to have side by side with, because he understood. And a lot of you, every one of you that saw what was going on, I called it 2 years ago before I even knew you, Rannie, or anybody. I had already called this 2 years ago that this was going to happen. It was coming. That
well, you know what you just said 2 years ago. You didn't know who I was.
Right.
I didn't know who you were.
Correct.
Kathy was. Chris was. If it hadn't have been for the OCC and their spreadsheet, their Excel check sheet that kept track of how many times I liked Democrat posts and calling me out because I was trying to engage people of a different party and have a civil conversation with them, then I would have never met you guys. We'd never be right here. So I want to tell them thank you.
But they did. Yeah. You're right.
That they created this opportunity for me.
You're right. If they hadn't created all of this, there's a lot of us that probably our paths would have never crossed, and we would have never got the opportunity. Because I've told you about this radio show. This has been a vision of mine for the last 20-something years, that I wanted to create a political talk show that was not your typical standard boring radio talk show. I wanted to create it for Oconee with issues and things that are happening here in Oconee. And I've said the Journal does a great job reporting, but we need to go a little bit further. And believe me, we've had a lot to go since August. We've tripled the likes, the follows of the page. It continues. The website stats are up. And these are things that, I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for us to be able to have this voice that we could actually say, hey, look, here it is. If you don't agree with us, that's fine. We're going to give you the information and you make your own decisions. And I'm just so thankful.
Our show has grown, and it's going to continue to grow because like they said, these folks aren't going to go away.
They're not going away.
But you talk about good leadership in the party.
that McMahon ran more good people off than he attracted.
You're right.
And you can still see that if you look at when the first time the governor came to town, they had like 80 people show up to the Walhalla Performing Arts Center to see him. And on the eve of election day, Jose and David Dial and those guys from the men's group, they got 150 some people out there to see the governor. Now I tell you what, that was a welcome, and that was a send off. That was a really good time. And then you turn right around the very next day, and we have the election watch party down there at the 313. You know, like I said, we wanted to have it over at the Pub Blue, be inclusive, have a lot of going on with everybody, but that didn't turn out. You saw those videos and the guns and all of that stuff.
Well, you know, I'm thankful that we had a great location to go to, and to me, 313, we had a better atmosphere for all of us there, you know, and it was like that was I'm not going to say, you know, we did have, this was the first time that I've known that there's been any kind of election watch party in Oconee County. This was something that I don't believe in the history of Oconee politics had ever been done. But you know what? We were all there. We were invested. We were interested, and we concerned, and we cared. And hey, we even had 2 Democrats there. Well, excuse me, 1 Democrat and an independent.
Well, yeah, and you know what? And then the folks that really sponsored and helped it be a good time. I want to make sure that we talk. I know you mentioned them on the radio while we were there, but you know we had gift cards that we gave out from the Spot and Ramcat Cellars, the Trailhead Tavern, Diamond Nails, the 313 gave some gift cards out. Man, I mean that getting all that and bringing all of those people together, that takes real leadership, real talent, real drive, and real want to.
It's professionalism. It's courtesy. It's professionalism.
Right, but it's real easy and it's real cowardice to show up at a meeting and talk about, well, I just don't like the way you do things. This is not the way it's always been done, and we used to be so great. Well, that, you know what? That's a bunch of damn cowards talking.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, you know, if it used to be that great, why ain't it still that great? Because they weren't that good enough leaders to cause that to continue.
You're right.
It peaked and it troughed. And, well, I got to tell you, with Jim Mann and Jose and Kerry and Pat Murray and the whole bunch of them, Rachel Moore, with those folks driving what the Republican Party is doing in Oconee County, it's going to be awesome. Now, you know, and but that breeds competition. And Chris and Kathy and all those folks on the left, they know what's coming. They see what the Republicans are now capable of. They're going to have to step up their game, and the county gets better on both sides.
I agree with you. I totally agree. And it's like I said, we live and we work. We live and we work with our friends and neighbors, and we may have a difference of opinion on certain issues. But when it comes to local government, Rannie, local government is supposed to be for the people, by the people, and everyone should have a voice in it, not to be singled out because, oh, look, they're Democrats. No, we don't want them. But and we all have to work together. If we want this country to succeed, regardless if we're a Republican or Democrat, we're all going to have to work together. And there's not going to be this drawing in the line sand. How many times have we heard that from a certain former suspended councilman? Draw the line in the sand.
Well, he drew the line.
And he screwed the pooch.
We're not going near the line.
Yeah.
We don't want to be near you.
We do not. We don't want to be near them.
I was just looking at some posts here earlier on, and one of them was on the journal page between me and David Nix. He's like, I don't support anything you do. And I was like, man, I agree. I don't support anything they're doing either. We should never be in the same room.
Well, there's a whole different issue at some point that, you know, we need to have another discussion concerning that individual, because that one's the next one on the radar.
But the thing about it is, though, those people got so their hate just ate them alive, and they went from being normal people to these just I don't know, just stuff they would say to folks was just dehumanizing, demoralizing. And just reading that stuff was terrible. And I hope that they get off of Facebook and rest and lick their wounds and mend their families and come back as decent people again.
Well, let's real quickly, while we've got a little bit more time here, let's move our attention towards Clemson. We had been watching that District 1 race out of Pickens County for the Clemson area, and it is going to a Democrat for the first time on the Pickens County Council side since 2015. So that was interesting. Another race that was interesting.
I mean, are you really surprised that the Republicans lost that seat when they put Brad White up?
No, I'm not.
I mean, it's 2022 in America. You cannot be associated with that kind of stuff. You can have whatever kind of past you want. I mean, everybody's got a skeleton in the closet.
Absolutely.
Everybody's probably said something, oh my gosh, that they probably wish they hadn't. But you can't hang your future on a Twitter account that you've got yourself associated with every racist in Florida.
Well, the example, hey, there's an example here. They took a page, he took a playbook out of the OCC because they've done the same thing.
Oh yeah, I mean there's that cancer of that type of people trying to get into politics was started by Trump, and it's going to take major surgery to get it out of the party. And hopefully the Democrats are doing the same thing in their party with their extremists and pushing them completely out to the fringe so that real people with real answers to real problems can have conversations and move things along. I think that Clemson probably did the right thing. If I had to choose between those two in a nonpartisan election, I'd probably have chose her over him too. But, when it's a partisan thing, we have primaries and then we pull the red handle.
Yeah, and also, too, when we have primaries, we support that primary candidate, whether it be a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
We don't go on a mission to start supporting the writing candidate that didn't duly qualify himself because he knew if he had run, he would never have won anyway. So I hope you understand where I'm going with that.
Oh, he knew what he was doing. He wouldn't
have
got on the Sandiford in the primary anyway.
Yep.
And I don't think he'd have got on the ballot against anybody else. Really?
Well, one can only hope, next time, 4 more years or whatnot.
Well, once he moves up here on the mountain now,
hey,
I guess
our problem down here is your problem. That way, then we move the Mason-Dixon line your way.
Well, he can draw it right down Conley Road because Mountain Rest have nothing politically. We're not politically aligned if the OCC is running that Mountain Rest precinct. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you're right. So let me ask this. January 1, 2023, here's what changes. We now have Don Mize going in as the representative to District 3. We have John Elliott, Julian Davis, and Glenn Hart. Do we have a stalemate for council, or are we going to proceed with real solutions and moving forward? What do you think?
Well, I think that this would be the opportunity for Mr. Davis and Mr. Elliott to give Mr. Hart the chairmanship and let him run the show, and let him be the chairman, and just show Oconee County what those OCCers are like when they're in charge. And it won't last long. It'll be over so quickly. And then we can all move on. We can move forward from this.
So basically what you're saying is it's got to crash and burn before it gets better.
Well, they're going to be 2-2 up there. And the stalemate is going to be, well, we can't pick a chairman because we can't agree. Well, hey, politics is all about compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. It's yours. You're the chairman. Now we can move forward and we can vote. We'd probably be tied on a lot of stuff.
That's my biggest fear, particularly when we get into budget season. when we start looking at the county budget, because next year's budget's going to have to be looked at a little more closely, and it's got to be a lot more careful because there's still a lot of variables that's happening in around the country itself. Where are we going to be starting 2023? I mean, we know what fuel prices are. Are we heading to a recession? Home prices are dropping. Those are the questions that we move forward that we're going to take a look at. There's going to be hard questions, and are we going to get anything accomplished?
Planning and zoning is going to had better be a huge priority moving forward.
Well, we don't want to end up like Woodruff Road. Oh, I said it.
Yeah, I was going to the same place. I know Chris is listening, and he's sitting there like drooling. And
I know he's just drooling right now because we're having it. He's not here. I get it.
Well, but the thing about it is if Mr. Mize has any reasoning skills whatsoever, he will do the right thing for the county. And he won't be stubborn, and it won't be like Walhalla City Council, where they have to pass a decorum ordinance because people won't get out of hand. So people won't get out of hand. They'll do, if Mr. Mize is a reasonable, loving citizen of Oconee County, and he really loves his county, he'll be reasonable and he'll do the right thing. He'll listen. He'll do the homework that's necessary. He won't let a disgruntled, disgraced, suspended councilman be his only guide to the meetings.
Well, I do, in conversations I've had with Don, I do get the impression that he does have or wants to have the best interest of Oconee County, and particularly the citizens of D3. I do get it. And he's going to be faced right off the bat, for folks that are listening. The first real major test is coming with the fire service contracts. That's going to be scheduled to be up for renewal coming up. And I think that's going to be on the plate starting in January. Seneca, I believe, is asking close to $1.5 million. And the fire contracts, what that does,
but Chairman Hart of the new Oconee County Council will going to sell all the fire trucks and all the fire gear. He said, we don't need that. Let people run up there with buckets, throw water on the fire.
Well, also, too, we put that same comment in there with the P Flicker, the P Pecker, or whatever his name is, wanting to get rid of the ambulances and go back to the funeral homes and bringing the bodies up to Oconee Memorial. So there you go.
Yeah.
But
it's like I couldn't believe that he said the things he. Well, it's hard. That GOG bunch over there, man, they just put anything on the radio. I couldn't believe they let that guy ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble.
I'm telling you, I'm so disappointed, and it used to not be that way. But
the Shiloh stuff over there with that, them wanting to hire a full-time employee that can get to you
quicker, faster.
Yeah, that's the thing with fire services. Most fire and EMS folks that are volunteers are at work. And guess what? They don't work in their garage. They don't work at the firehouse. They work 40 minutes away.
In jobs.
After 6 or 7 o'clock at night, you get all kind of volunteer response. If they haven't had a bad day at work and they haven't had a beer or something, they're coming.
Yeah.
But from 5:30 in the morning, when those folks are getting ready to go to work, till 6 o'clock in the evening, there ain't nobody around.
Well,
so if you don't have somebody paid, then who's coming?
Well, part of my plan that I felt would have been very feasible and economical, and also would help the part of the growing of the county, is let's go ahead and see if we can staff all of the local fire departments during a daytime setting from, say, 7 to 5 or 7 to 6, Monday through whatever.
The county has it. They have that, and they have that 21 squad.
Well, they do. That's right.
And they do their best, but I'll tell you what, they got to be everywhere, and they're helping each other out and backing each other up.
Well, that's why
it's real good to have those as a volunteer during the day up here. If something happens in Mountain Rest, at least I know that somebody from the paid staff is on their way to back me up.
Well, that's why I said that it's important to making sure this fire contract, particularly for District 3, as I was explaining, the city of Seneca runs not only calls with inside the city limits, but they run calls outside basically the perimeter of Seneca from Wells Highway over to 123 on the Sheep Farm roadside, Bounty Land, and then down Wells Highway. They back up Station 12 and they back up Corinth Shiloh at some locations. It's important to have that secondary coverage just outside the city. So that's why that they're going to be facing the huge decision on this fire contract, and making sure that Don's got to make this decision that this is going to be huge.
And from another aspect of it is the opportunity cost that was lost in building the Bounty Land Station. I was reading there in the paper that 2 years ago, when they first started talking about it, the contract was going to be for $500,000. Well, now it's $1.1 million. If they wait any longer, it's going to be $2.5 or $5. And who's paying for that?
We are.
The taxpayers are, because of the inability for these ignorant councilmen who are living in the 1930s to make a decision that benefits the community. Well, that's the problem.
I totally agree with you. Well, Rannie, we have almost made it 1 hour. We're 9 minutes away from having 1 hour. We were only going to do like 20 minutes, but there's just so much going on in Oconee County.
I'm sorry, Rachel. You said we need to just say what we need to say and then get off the radio. I know it, but I tell you what, there's just so much to talk about around here.
And again, we want to thank all of our listeners and supporters. You can like and follow us on Facebook, and we do our best to update you with information when we get it, from press releases from the Sheriff's Department or anything that's happening within Oconee County. We do our best to get that information out to you, and we make sure that when we do, that it is concise, it's complete, and one of the most important things, that it's completely facts.
And real quick, I got to throw one name out there, and Josh Owens.
Yes.
That guy and what he brought to the table for the county, for the Republican Party, for everything that's going on. We talk about these leaders in the party. Unsung hero is what he is. And I think that people should be thinking about Josh Owens' name anytime they want to write somebody in somewhere for something.
Josh is a good old human being, great person, great personality. And I've met so many wonderful people. I really have. And like I said, I've developed a great relationship with Luke and Jennifer and Roger, and just the list goes on. And even, I'm glad now to have the opportunity to meet David Dial and his wife, and we were able to have a conversation. And these are just great folks, and they all now understand what's at stake, and they're willing to roll their sleeves up and help as we continue to do our best to move Oconee forward. And that's all it is. That's what it boils down to.
You're absolutely right. Good people doing good things, and really at the county level, they don't have to have R's and D's on them to do the right thing.
That's right. They don't. All right. Well, Randy, we're going to go ahead. If you'll hang on the phone just a second, I'll go ahead and wrap up this in. I'll come right back to you in just a second. I appreciate you joining us this evening. Have we made a decision when we're going to record this new show coming up? We're going to do it on Wednesday or Thursday or Tuesday?
I don't know. My Wednesday's open, so I guess that I think, well, this will be the one right before the trial, Thanksgiving, all kind of stuff. So let's do it Wednesday.
Okay. I guess we got a lot to discuss on Wednesday's show then. So we'll go ahead and pencil
the EC meeting for Wednesday.
All right, we'll go ahead and pencil it in. All right, Randy, hang on just a second. I'll be right back with you. Randy Bond, join us here on our program. Thanks for joining us this evening on a Friday. Remember, tomorrow we'll let you hear this show again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and then we'll be back to normal schedule. Coming up this next week, we'll remind you that coming up here at 9 a.m. If you want to listen, I'll be on the radio, 107.9 WFBS and Lake Kiwi Radio Line. We'll be playing great music, fun music, all sorts of good stuff coming up here at 9 a.m. Saturday morning, or coming up here in just a few moments, by the way, when we run it Saturday. It's a long day, so just ignore me. Hey, thanks so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again real soon here on Let's Talk Oconee, letstalkoconeesc.com, and also too on our Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you again real soon.